Hello everyone, in this video we will discuss the basic of chapter 1, that is number system class 10. So let's start with some definitions. First one is numerals. A group of figures representing a number is called a numeral. For example, 1 2 3 4 5 9 8 7 999 1 3 7 8 4 6 0. All these are numerals. Here I used for example as E dot G dot. This is a Greek word. You can see here in Greek E dot G dot means exempli gratia, but in English language this means for example. Similarly, I dot E dot, this is idust in Greek language, but in English language this means that is. So we will use these two abbreviations regularly, so keep in mind. So next one is natural number. So numbers which we use for counting objects or natural things are called as natural numbers. It is denoted by capital N. Natural number starts from 1 and moves up to infinity. That is n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on up to infinity. This is all about the natural numbers. Similarly, next one is whole numbers. So natural numbers including 0 are called as whole numbers. It is denoted by W. That is W equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and up to infinity. So this is about whole numbers. Now even numbers, the numbers which are divisible by 2, or we can say the numbers which are multiple of 2 are called as even numbers. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and up to infinity, all these are even numbers. Next one, odd numbers. The numbers which are not divisible by 2 are called as odd numbers. For example, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 up to infinity, all these are odd numbers as these are not divisible by 2. So next one is prime numbers. This is important, you must know, and you have already studied about this in your previous classes. Prime numbers. A number other than 1 is called as prime number if it is divisible by 1 and itself. The numbers, or we can say the numbers which are divisible by 1 and itself only, are known as prime numbers. You can see 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, all the numbers are divisible by 1 and itself. So this is all about prime numbers, and you can see the smallest even prime number is 2, or we can say only even prime number is 2. So this is only even prime number, so you can keep in mind. Next one, co-prime numbers. A set of two or more numbers are called as co-prime numbers, or we can say co-primes if they are divisible by only 1 and itself, or they have no common factor other than 1. So you can see in the first set we have two numbers 2 and 13. So these two numbers are co-prime to each other. They don't have common factor other than 1. Similarly, in the second set we have 12, 17, 13. All these three numbers are co-prime to each other as these three numbers don't have any common factor other than 1. So this is all about co-prime numbers. Now composite number. A number other than 1 which is not a prime number is called a composite number. Or we can say a number which has 2 or more than 2 prime factors other than 1 is called a composite number. You can see from here 4, 6, 8, 12, 9, 14, all these are composite number as these have 2 or more than 2 factors. Yes, you can see 4 has 2 common factors, 2 prime factors other than 1, that is 2 and 2. Similarly, 6 has 2 prime factors other than 1, that is 2 and 3. So these all are composite numbers. So now you can see from here smallest composite number is 4. This is important and this has been already asked in many competitive exams too. So now next one is integers. Set of numbers including whole numbers and negative numbers. You can see from here minus infinity to minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. All these are positive and negative numbers are known as integers. Integers are denoted by Z or I. So now positive integers. Set of natural number is called as positive integer. It is denoted by Z plus or I plus. For example, Z plus equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to infinity. These all are positive integers. Next one is negative integers. Set of natural numbers with negative signs called negative integers. It is denoted by Z minus or I minus. For example, Z minus equals to minus infinity, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. So we can say minus 1 to minus infinity, all are negative integers. Next one is rational number. The numbers which can be written in the P by Q form where P and Q are co-prime to each other and Q is not equal to 0. It is denoted by Q. So you can see from examples 1 by 2, one is P and 2 is q. So you can see the numbers 1 by 2 is in the p by q form, and these are co-prime to each other as these two numbers don't have any common factor other than 1. Similarly, you can see from 3 by 4, 3 and 4 don't have any common factor other than 1. Similarly, 8 and 9 don't have any common factor other than 1. Similarly, you can see 22 by 7 don't have any common factor other than 1. So these all are rational numbers. Now irrational numbers, the numbers which cannot be written in the form of p by q, and where p and q are co-prime to each other and q is not equal to 0. So you can see under root 2, 1 by under root 3, 3 root 3 means cube root of 3 by 2 and pi. So all these are irrational number, or you can say the square root of any number or cube root of any numbers, or in other words you can say the numbers with the power in fraction are called as irrational numbers. But pi is also an irrational number, as you can see in the rational number we used 22 by 7 as rational number, but pi is irrational number as 22 by 7 is not the exact value of pi. So 22 by 7 is a rational number, but pi is an irrational number. So keep in mind. Now real numbers, the numbers which can be represented or on number line, that mean all the rational and irrational numbers are real numbers. So keep in mind, this is important. The numbers which can be represented on the number line all are called as real numbers. Now numbers. So numbers are of two types mainly, real numbers and imaginary numbers. Real number we already studied. The numbers which can be represented on the number line are called as real numbers. Imaginary numbers, the numbers which can't be represented on the number line are called as imaginary numbers, and this is in your next standard syllabus. So we will discuss only real number in class 10. So here real numbers are of two types, for the rational number and irrational numbers. Rational numbers can be written in the p by q form where q is not equals to 0. Irrational numbers can't be written in the p by q form. Now rational numbers have further two types of decimal expansions. You can see rational number is terminating decimal expansion or non-terminating decimal expansions. You can see from some examples 2 by 5, 3 by 8, 7 by 10, or you can say 7 by 100. So 2 by 5 can be written as 0.4, 3 by 8 can be written as 0.375, 7 by 8 can be written as 0.875, similarly 7 by 100 can be written as 0.07. So all these rational numbers are of terminating decimal expansion. And here the denominator q is in the form of 2 raised to power m, 5 raised to power n, or 10 raised to power p. You can see from here the denominator is 5, denominator is 8, that can be written as 2 raised to power 3. Here the denominator is 8, that can be written in the power of 2, that is 2 raised to power 3, and here the denominator is 100, that is 10 raised to power 2. So in this all fractions, or we can say all these rational number have their denominator as the power of 2 raised to power m, 5 raised to power n, or 10 raised to power p. So you keep in mind all the terminating decimal expansion have their denominator in the power of 2 raised to power m, 5 raised to power n, or 10 raised to power p. So next one, the rational number in the form of non-terminating decimal expansion, or we can say recurring decimal expansion. You can see examples 22 by 7, 11 by 7, 1 by 3. Here the denominator q is not in the form of power of 2, 5, or 10. So 22 by 7 can be written as 3.142857, 142857. It will repeat again and again. So this can be represented by 3.142857 bar. So bar sign means after decimal this block is repeating again and again. This 6-digit block is repeating again and again. Similarly 11 by 7, it will be 1.571428, 571428, 571428. It will repeat again and again after decimal. So we can write it as 1.571428 bar. So this bar represents the block of 6 digits that will repeat again and again. So 1 by 3 can be written as 0.333. So after decimal 3 is repeating again and again. So we can write it as 0.3 bar. So this is about the non-terminating decimal expansion, or we can say rational numbers. So this is the rational number of type non-terminating decimal expansion. So keep in mind. Now the irrational numbers, we already studied the irrational numbers can't be written in the p by q form, and these are of non-terminating, non-repeating. So keep in mind, non-terminating, non-repeating numbers are called as irrational numbers. For example, square root of 10, square root of 2, 1 by root 3, pi, all these type of numbers are known as irrational numbers. So root 2 equals to 1.41421356, and these numbers never ends, never terminates. So this root 2 is an irrational number. Similarly, 1 by root 3, so 0.577350,269 and so on. This is an again irrational number. You can say 0.04, 004, 0004, all these type of numbers are irrational numbers. Now, as 22 by 7 is not an exact value of pi, so 22 by 7 is a rational number while pi is an irrational number. Next one is every integer or fraction made up by them is a rational number. So here you can see integer 1, it can be written in p by q form, so it can be written in p by q form. That's why 1 by 5, 1 by 7, 1 by 9 and so on, this type of numbers are rational numbers. Next one, square root of every prime number is an irrational number. Keep in mind, square root of every prime number is an irrational number. Important hit. So keep in mind, root 2, root 3, root 7. Next one is, there are infinitely many rational numbers between two different rational numbers. There are infinitely many rational numbers between any two different rational numbers. Next one, the sum or difference of a rational and irrational number is always an irrational number. You can see 2 plus under root 3. So 2 is a rational number while under root 3 is an irrational number, but the sum of these two numbers is an irrational. Similarly, 5 minus under root 7. 5 is a rational number while under root 7 is an irrational number. So the difference of these two numbers will be an irrational. The product or quotient of a non-zero rational and irrational number is an irrational number. So you can see from examples, 5 root 7. 5 is a rational while under root 7 is an irrational number. So product of these two rational and irrational will be an irrational. Similarly, 13 under root 11, 3 by 7 into under root 5. So these are the example of irrational numbers. Only even prime number is 2. This is important and asked in various computer exams. Now Euclid division lemma. For any two given positive integers a and b, there exists a unique integers q and r satisfying the relation a equals to bq plus r, where r is greater than or equal to 0 and less than b. You have already studied this type of relation in your previous classes, where a is considered as dividend, b is as divisor, q as quotient and r as remainder. And you must know, or you have already studied about this, the always divisor is greater than remainder. So keep in mind, or you can say remainder is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0 or less than divisor. So here a equals to bq plus r, a is dividend, b is your divisor, q is quotient and r is remainder. So this is called as Euclid's division lemma. Keep in mind, lemma is a proven statement used for proving another statement. So you can keep in mind, lemma is nothing but a proven statement, and that used to prove other statements. So lemma is nothing but a proved statement. So next one is algorithm. An algorithm is a series of well-defined steps which gives a procedure for solving a type of problem. Next one, Euclid's division algorithm. To obtain the HCF of two positive integers, you can see c and d, with c is greater than d, where c is greater than d. So step 1, to find the HCF of two integers c and d, we will apply Euclid division algorithm. So apply Euclid division lemma to c and d. Find the two numbers q and r such that c equals to dq plus r. As c is greater than d, so we will divide c by d, and q is a quotient and r will be remainder. So c equals to dq plus r, where r is greater than or equal to 0 and less than d. So keep in mind, remainder is greater than or equal to 0 or less than divisor, that is here d. So in the next step, step number 2, if we have remainder as 0, in the first step, if r is 0, then d is the HCF. This d is the HCF of c and d. If r is not 0, if r is not equal to 0, then apply the division lemma to d and r. We will divide the division lemma again on d and r. D will be considered as dividend and r will be considered as next divisor. So continue the process till the remainder is 0. We will, in the step 3, we will repeat this process again and again until we get the remainder as 0. So the division at this stage will be required HCF. Next one is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Every composite number can be written as the product of its primes in one and only one way, that it is unique apart from the order in which the primes are written. So you can see from example 21 can be written as 3 into 7 into 1, 21 can be written as 7 into 3 into 1, but we must write in increasing order, but it doesn't matter in which order we are writing the prime factors. So this is about the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Next one, the HCF and LCM using the prime factorization. So HCF is the product of smallest power of each common primes of given numbers. I am repeating, HCF is the product of smallest power of each common primes of given numbers. It is also called as GCD of numbers. So greatest common divisor we can say. So greatest common divisor is nothing but it is the HCF of given numbers. LCM, it is the product of greatest power of each prime factor of given numbers. I am repeating, LCM, it is the product of greatest power of each prime factors of given numbers. Relationship between HCF and LCM. If we have two numbers A and B, then the product of these two numbers will be equals to their HCF and their LCM. If we have three numbers A, B and C, then the LCM of these three numbers will be, LCM of A, B and C will be product of these three numbers A into B into C, and their HCF A into B, A, B and C divided by HCF of AB into HCF of BC and HCF of AC. Similarly, if we want to find, we need to find HCF of three numbers A, B and C, then it will be equals to the product of three numbers A, B and C and into their LCM of A, B and C and divided by LCM of AB, LCM of BC and LCM of AC. Now if we have A be a prime number, if A divides P square, then A will divide P also, where P is a positive integer. For example, if 2 divides 16, then 2 will also divide 4, as 16 is square of 4, so 2 will also divide 4. Next, let x be a rational number, so whose decimal expansion terminates, then x can be written in the P by Q form, where P and Q are co-prime to each other, means the P and Q don't have any common factor other than 1. Then the prime factorization of Q is in the form of 2 raised to power m, 5 raised to power n or 10 raised to power p, where m, n and p are non-negative integers and vice versa. Now this vice versa means if the denominator of a rational number is not in the form of 2 raised to power m, 5 raised to power n or 10 raised to power p, then we can say this is non-terminating repeating decimal expansion. Now this is just to recap from your previous class, that is exponent properties. You can see number A raised to power m into number A raised to power n. So here these two numbers have common base but different powers, so we can write it as A raised to power m plus n. Here we have A raised to power m upon A raised to power n. This can be written as A raised to power m minus n. In the third, we have the two numbers with the same power but different base. So here A is raised to power m and B raised to power m. So first we will multiply these two numbers A and B, and then same power will be same. So AB raised to power m. Next one, we have power as same but base as different, and but these are in division. So here A raised to power m is divided by B raised to power m. So we can write A by B. We can divide first A by B, then we can put power as m. The next one, we have A raised to power m and whole raised to power n. So power can be multiplied first. So A raised to power mn, and anything raised to power 0 is always 1. So this is all about the basic of chapter 1. So if you learn from this video, then subscribe my channel and share this video as much as you can. So thanks for watching.